You're listening.
Weekend Greeks.
MER, the Moroccan English Radio, the first English radio in Morocco.
We got a great show coming your way today.
The Moroccan English Radio.
Thanks for joining us here today in MER and welcome to this free talk. I am Faisal. Today we're gonna talk about the importance of reading, books and articles, and why Moroccan students do not devote a specific time for reading as being one of the most important sources of knowledge in the process of learning and acquiring a critical thinking. We have Zakaria from Salah to show us more on the crucial role of reading.
For centuries, books were and still considered important for societies. It allowed anyone to dive in a world, whether it is historical stories, poems. Books are the best way to learn about the world and yourself. Sadly, with the rise of technology, reading books decreased worldwide, especially in the youth. It became a rare thing to see someone reading a book publicly, because all books have a digital edition for phones, laptops, and tablets, which doesn't encourage amateur book writers. Who knows, perhaps in the future, there won't be anything called books. As for the books I could recommend you, I advise you to read George Santayana's books. They are of a philosophical nature, but I assure you, you are going to learn a lot about yourself and appreciate life more.
Thank you, Zakaria, for being a part of this. And now let's take Layla from Marrakesh.
Okay, about the first question, the importance of reading. Yeah, they're so important in our life. Books are one of the most important things in our life. We should read as much as we can. By reading, we will gain so many gold information, experiences, and culture. And without books, we cannot develop. If you ask a writer, how does he become a writer? He should say, because of reading. We won't actually find a writer becomes a writer without reading. So reading is so important. And about the second question, students actually they tend to do some trivial things instead of reading. They still do not even know the importance of reading and how reading can change their life completely, and how reading can change the way they look at things. And the last question is, if I had a chance to advise someone to read books, I would say actually I won't advise him to read books at the first time. I will advise him to read short stories. So if he adapts or if he train his mind to read short stories, he will train her mind by reading. He will read and read and read, so he will adapt to reading. So that's actually will gives him the courage or the push to move to read books. So he should actually read some books which contain something he is interested in it. If he's not interested in philosophy, and he reads like some books which talks about philosophy, he won't enjoy and he will get bored, and he won't stick to reading. He would drop out reading.
Layla has a great point of view. Thank you, Layla. The last intervener is Uthman from Tangier. Welcome, Uthman. Share with us your idea about our topic.
Well, to be honest with you, people who do not read are let's say, innocents. The crime of not reading, I call it a crime because reading is so important, because people cannot develop a skill, cannot know about a topic without reading. But I'm not saying that reading from one specific source will make you a reader. No, that's wrong. But reading from different sources, different writers, different perspectives, different backgrounds will make you a reader. Why? Because they are going to compare between the ideas and come up with one single idea which is your idea. I mean, nothing is original, but Anyway, this is not our topic. Our topic is why do people prefer not to read. Anyway, the three questions you have: do you think books are important? So yeah, of course, books are important, and you cannot live without books. For me, we cannot develop a nation or make it, advanced in a specific field without books. People keep writing books. There are more than 300 million books, in the history of books in life, and some books are so effective. Why? Because they affect the nation, and they affect the ideas of the population and everything. And books are important because they change lives, really, because people who do not read are more likely to find themselves in situations where they do not have like any solution. You got me? But people who read, they have like read about those situations, because the writer talks about his own like experience, so you learn from it, and many other things, because there are many like kinds of books. And yeah, how do you see the process of reading among students in Morocco? Well, to be honest, it's good to mention students. Well, for me, students in Morocco have a lack of motivation. That's why they do not read a lot. Anyway, there are some exceptions. We're not going to mention them, but we are going to talk about those who do not read and why. For me, I'm not going to blame the students, but I'm going to blame the Moroccan educational system. Why? Because they make you hate studying like generally. But when talking about books, I am a student, or I was a student. Now I'm a university student, but I was a student in high school, and my high school didn't like, or it still, doesn't have like a library. So that's a big problem. And for me, this is the main problem, because you don't have like a space. Some reasons are kind of stupid, because the director will tell you, oh, the students will like damage the place, or they will like throw trash. Come on, man, just like give it a shot and make the library in that high school. Anyway, there are no classes for that. There are not enough libraries, and many other problems. And for me, the student should be motivated, should love reading. One other problem, away from the school, because school has like all the crime, but let's say between parents, or in your family, you find people who are like not educated, and most of Moroccans who are more than like 50 years old aren't educated at all. So they care about money, they care about bread, they care about oil, but they don't care about reading. So that's why you don't find any like small library inside homes, or inside Moroccan traditional homes. The third question is, what books do you recommend for students who want to start reading? Well, this is a good idea, because I have friends who want to read, and they keep asking me about books. And I've tried this. I tried giving them books, and they said, oh, I don't like them. I don't like that book, and I cannot finish reading it. And that's why I say that we have to start by knowing who's the person first, what he likes, because the first book will make him either love reading or hate reading. This is the idea, because maybe you will give him a book and he will hate reading. Why? Because the book isn't that good. But maybe you will give him let's say a really good book, which is a good related to his interests and a lot of other things, and he will start loving reading, and reading for him will be like a passion. That's why we have to start by knowing the person. For me, I recommend. For me, I have read many books before this collection, but I prefer it. Why? Because I love it. Anyway, I'm gonna like recommend Dan Brown's collection, which is a collection of 6 books. But the interesting ones are the 3, which are the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and Inferno. Yes, which is hell in Italian. So yeah, these are the books that I want to share with them. Well, and this is my idea about reading. Reading is so important, and students in Morocco do not read because of many reasons, including like school, and there is no place for reading. There is no motivation. The Moroccan education system is not about reading. It's about like okay, memorize. But what about the critical thinking? And the critical thinking we build it, and it comes by reading books. So and reading other opinions and yeah. So that's yeah. I can like Thank you.
Thank you, Uthman, and thanks for the other interveners.
You're listening.
The Moroccan English Radio.
This is the end of our episode of Free Talk. Please subscribe in our channel and join us on Facebook. See you soon with new topics on MER.
You're listening.
Weekend Greeks.
Hosted by
Agent Carlson. Throughout time, I've seen many different people.
MER, the Moroccan English Radio. The first English radio in Morocco. In Morocco. In Morocco. In Morocco.